Hey friends, it's Kristi. Thanks so much for being part of this video with me. I want to share a story with you that actually turned into a really big revelation in my life, and this just actually happened. I've been telling myself a really big lie, actually a couple pretty big lies, and I bet you have too. So what is this lie I've been living behind? I've been saying, I don't have enough time. And when I say those words, it keeps me stuck. So here's what happened. A girlfriend of mine had invited me to something just in the last week. And as soon as I didn't even have an opportunity to think about what was coming out of my mouth and those words, I don't have the time. I thought, why was that my knee-jerk reaction? I think that's a way to keep me from having to say no to somebody. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time saying no when I'm asked to participate or do things or support or whatever. I'm a people pleaser. And so I want to say yes when I can, and then that winds up being a very full schedule, right? So we have the fullest schedules of any generation, I'm sure of it. It's not scientific, but I imagine that's probably a pretty safe guess. And there just seems to be more of a to-do list than there are hours. But you guys, it's our choices. We've chosen that for our lives. We've chosen to work 8, 10, 12, 15 hours a day. We've chosen to have the kids in these extracurricular sports or to go to school. Those are our choices. But we also choose to spend our time instead of invest it. So what do I mean by this? I'm guilty of it, so I'm not lecturing. I tend to binge watch a lot of shows, and then I feel a little guilty at the end of the evening, like I just wasted 2.5 hours in this show. Like, what just happened? I'm not investing my time the way that I want to. So what does it look like to invest your time? I'm thinking like intellectual collateral, right? Like I want to be the very best version of me I can possibly be. So I'm constantly trying to be on the lookout for information that will stimulate my mind, grow my perspective, bring me joy. And also, we want to have some downtime, some rest and recharge time. And sometimes for some people, that's just binge watching on a rainy Saturday, right? So if you're like me, you work all week long, way long hours, and then your weekends are catching up with friends and running errands and cleaning the house and paying the bills and whatever needs to happen. And then all of a sudden we rinse and repeat. Now the new work week starts, and here we go at it again. But you've got to stop saying the words. I've got to stop saying the words, I don't have enough time. We do. Let's challenge that for a second. If you got a cavity and it's aching your whole brain and it's just pounding inside of your mouth, would you get to the dentist, right? You would, of course, you would get to the dentist as soon as possible. No matter what was happening in your life, you would pause it and get to the dentist. So that means you would rearrange your schedule. If you were doing something really, really important, like closing on the purchase of your home, would you make time for that signing, that closing at 2:00 on Tuesday, if that's when your signing is? Of course, you'd make that happen. If your best friend needed you right then in that moment, would you stop what you're doing and help serve her? Of course you would. So we say, I don't have enough time, but I'm going to suggest that you don't hide behind the I don't have enough time because you just don't want to say, no, that doesn't interest me, or no, I don't want to take part in that. If you're like me, you're a people pleaser. I love for other people to like me. And so sometimes that means I am saying yes to things that I didn't really want to say yes to, thus a very full schedule. So please, though, if you have children, if you have people in your hearing of your words, please don't say the words, I don't have enough time. Maybe replace that sentence with, I choose to not invest my time that way. That's very different, because otherwise it stumps our psyche and our mind and saying, oh, we don't have enough time. What that might do is exclude other things from coming into our world that would require our attention and our time and our energy. Because if we're telling our mind, I don't have enough time, then it might not see what's possible with something else that might be a great new opportunity, something that brings you a whole lot of joy, furthers you in your career. I don't know, something, fill in the blank, because your mind says, I already know I don't have enough time for that, so I'm not going to be open and aware and ready for that. So watch out for that trap, okay? Let's talk about the evil stepsister, I don't have enough money. I hear people saying this all the time. Another girlfriend of mine was talking about how she wanted to go on a vacation and she hasn't been in years, and she says, I don't have the money to go on a vacation. And I'm looking around and I'm thinking, I could see 15 different ways that you can cut money right now and put that towards a savings goal. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy things in your life. You should have a balance between saving and spending. I don't want you to feel like you have to live this scarcity type of life. You know, Dave Ramsey, sorry, Dave, but you're telling people that they should live off of ramen noodles and, set their air conditioner at 83 degrees until they get to their, savings goals. Come on, like we've got to enjoy the journey. So how do we enjoy the journey? Save some and spend some, but have goals. So if you truly feel like I don't have enough money, I'm going to invite you to add the word yet to the bottom of that statement. I don't have the money yet. Don't say I don't have enough money. Say I don't have enough money for that yet. And then find a way to get there. So if you have a really big goal, right, you need an emergency savings fund because COVID has really brought to light that you don't have enough money in savings should something really terrible happen or you get furloughed or unemployed or something like that. If you have a goal of buying a home, if you have a goal of going on an amazing travel around the world vacation, whatever your goal is, what is it? You want to launch a business? You need to have money for that. You can't exactly walk into a bank and say, hey, I'm going to start a brand new business. Would you like to loan me $100,000? Doesn't really happen like that in the real world, does it? So whatever your goal is, write it down. When it's written down, it's real. I'm going to encourage you, maybe make a vision board so you can see it as a reality. If you can see yourself in that reality, you can create a way to arrive there. You've got to believe that you can get there. But follow a household budget. I've got a really simple budget I'd love to share with you, and write out your take-home pay and then every single expense. And you guys, you gotta look. You probably got to go back 60 days on your bank statement, maybe even 90 days, and also look at where your credit card spending goes, because some bills and purchases might be on the credit card that doesn't show up on the bank. Look at everything that goes out. Dog expenses, pet expenses are not just food, right? It's expensive to go to the vet. They've got to have that flea and tick medicine, fill in the blanks with all of those things. If you have a security system on your home, you probably forgot you're paying $50 a month on that if it's on auto pay on a credit card. So just really start digging into where your bills are going at, so you can then look at what you can cut. Can you reduce your cable bill? Can you go to a different cell phone plan that's maybe a little bit cheaper? Maybe where you shop for your groceries is convenient to your home, but perhaps a really expensive store for you. So maybe you could go to a different store for just a little while, right? You can see I don't have fakey nails. I'd love to have pretty fakey nails, but I'm not willing to spend the $50 or whatever it costs every 2 weeks for that to be done. So I put that money rather to our travel fund, and then we can travel without guilt because we didn't put it on credit cards and we worked really hard towards getting there. So in order to measure where your money is going, you have to spell it out and put it in a budget. If you don't have enough money coming in and you keep saying that to yourself, you're actually turning off the faucet in your mind as to where what's possible. So instead of saying I don't have enough money, replace it with I don't have money for that yet, and then start looking at where your time is being spent. So if it's not being invested in those things that we talked about a few minutes ago that bring you a lot of joy, if you are binge watching, instead of just sitting on the couch, maybe you can get into action and do something that you have a skill set for. A girlfriend of mine has this beautiful online storefront because she's so super talented and she creates all of this stuff. She puts her creativity onto paper and then she makes it, right? She's got the printing tools and a home office to print it, and then she sells it on an online store. So maybe you could do that and have those binge watching shows going on in the background, so you're actually investing instead of spending your time. Maybe you could work overtime where you're at, or you could pick up a side gig. If you're starting to think about a side hustle, maybe you can start putting time and energy and attention into that now. Start being more aware of where your time and your money is being spent. And then in that space right there, where can we stop spending and start investing? Whether it's investing in yourself, your financial future, your goals, becoming the best version of you, whatever that looks like for you. If you're spending and not investing, start uncovering those opportunities of where you can make some cuts, change some things, and actually accomplish the goals that you have set forth for yourself. Because I bet you have some pretty big goals, right? If it's just something that's spinning around in your mind, it's just a dream doesn't actually always materialize. But a written goal with a plan to get there is so much more than a wish or a dream. And so I want that for you, especially if you want that for you. But I am on a quest to no longer say, I don't have enough time and I don't have enough money. And I invite you to do the same and see what unfolds or opens up for you in your life. Thanks so much for watching me, being part of this with me, and growing with me, right? So until next time, my friends, stay well.